Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Future Friday, we're going to talk about a complex topic known as paradox of poverty. So let's dive deep into it. So what exactly is this so-called poverty? It's a basically lack of financial resources and essential for basic standard of living, which simply means safe and stable. Meaning does not mean that you are there and you can be poofed next minute. Meaning a war, if you have to live in a war zone, you are actually poor. It does not matter how good your house is. You're living in an active war zone, you're poor. So it's one of those things, like you have to have a safe and stable life. Now, this is the reason you also have basically financial resources and essentials as a two separate thing. Meaning you could be in a scenario where, let's say, your government is really good, it does have surplus income, and they could take care of, like, few people, like a very tiny percentage of population, they can wholesale take care of it. Whereas, like, bro, we got you, fam. Like, we got you. We can provide you clothes, we can provide you place to stay, we can take care of you basically. So if you're in those sort of scenario, you cannot be classified as poor. So be very mindful of that. You not only have to be like impoverished as in like financially, and also you should not have any access to basic essential. Now, what are the quote unquote basic essential? It's food, water, clothes and shelter. In Hindi we have a very nice way of saying it: roti, kapda or makan. So food, water, clothes and shelters. And then we come to the quality of life improvement, because these things are what we call basic layer. In Maslow's pyramid of need, this is layer 1. Then we have something bit more than that, that is education, medication and pension. Now you have to understand, you are a human body. Your body is not built out of magic. It's gonna fall. It's gonna fall apart. It's gonna need some doctor to patch things up together. Sooner or later, today or tomorrow, you're gonna need it, and your quality of life is directly proportional to that. Many times people have treatable injuries, but because they do not have the finances to take care of it, it becomes into a mess. Let's just put it that way. So medication, access to medication also matters. Education, that gives you capability of navigating this world, not only for like financial reasons. It also gives you the capability. Okay, what the hell is happening around me? If you can read something, if you can navigate something, that's awesome. Then we have talking about pension, because no matter how strong you are, if you are working in a job that is like super duper robust, grinding to your bones, fun fact, your bones gonna get grind away. So meaning it does not matter, like you may run out at like age 55, you may run out of age 60, may run out of age 75, but there will be a time where your body is like, bro, I cannot do this. And at that point in time, because we do not have self-termination, you gonna be alive after that. So we need pension also. It's a very important thing. Now, all these things is layer 1, which we call poverty, but there is a harder layer than this, which we call abject poverty, meaning you cannot have it, nor the people around you can have it. As in, like, even these things, basic things. For example, like this is a poor child in basically Bangladesh, and the kid has clothes and all that. Imagine he did not even have that. Not even close, nothing, just like zero. And that used to be the case. This is a humanities graph from 1820, and this was the reality. Basically, this red part is that level of poverty, meaning abject poverty. You had nothing, zero, absolute nothing. Now, of course, people have tried to put numerical value to it, but it does not work in that context that well. It's more of like nothing, nobody even around you have anything. So this is what we call abject poverty, and we have worked our ass off to reduce this puppy. And have we succeeded? Absolutely. After the Industrial Revolution, we have successfully brought this puppy down, and we have eradicated that level of poverty from almost everywhere on the planet. Is it zero? No, but it's very, very tiny. We have more people in poverty layer rather than abject poverty layer, meaning we have successfully lifted them from abject poverty to poverty. Now I'm like, that's not a big of a jump. No, it is, trust me. The people who had this sort of jump, they are like, yeah, that's a big ass jump. So that's the idea behind it. Now you have to understand, we have reduced it a lot, but it's an ongoing conflict, because we cannot eliminate it to zero. And if we ever basically slip up, quote unquote, either by our stupidity or stupidity of our ideologies, it's gonna come back. And this is one of those things, the battle must go on 24 into 7 into 365. As long as humanity is there, we have to be very mindful of this sort of thing. If we are not, bad things will happen. And all the poverty eradication that we did, it can also go up. So it's one of those things that we have to be thoroughly aware of. Like, we have to be like vigilant about it. Then we come to the core aspect. How the heck the people who went from like basically poverty to middle class, how the heck that happened? This is what we call climb, like how the heck we climbed out of poverty. So this is one core aspect. Like right now we have living through a rhetoric that where people are taught to hate, like hate Bill Gates, hate Steve Bezos or whatever have you, Steve Jobs, Steve Jobs and Jeff Bezos and whatever have you. Basically hate the rich people. Yes, deal. They were also poor. Now you may be like, no, Bill Gates' father was like actually a lawyer, he actually had some sort of money or whatever have you. But here's the deal. What happens if you go back to his father? And what happens if you go back to his father? Like you only have to go few generation where you reach a point where it's like, bro, you had nothing, like zero, nothing. Only few generation. Like right now I am in a house, I have a good quality of life. Does not mean like my father had this quality of life. Like at my age, my father was working exponentially harder for exponentially little money. And his father, same. His father before him is like, grandfather, grandfather. It's like, even was, be mindful at that point, my great grandfather was in India that was enslaved. So this was before independence. So let that sink in. Everybody starts at poverty layer. Like even if I look at someone who's like, whoa, you're so rich. Yes, deal. I can guarantee you, less than 3 to 4 generation, I will reach a point where it's like, dude, you had nothing. No house, no property, nothing. Only some people can go back further than that, and even them, if they have a good family history tree, they can go back even further than they're like, bro, yeah, there was a starting point. There always is a starting point. So this is one of the most critical aspect. Everybody starts poor and then we grow. This is one thing. Only timing is different. Like somebody could do it in 1800, somebody could do it in 1900, somebody could do it in 2010. That's the only difference. Now, in terms of family structure, many times some people do what we call single jump, meaning one individual, he plays his bet and it works and bam, literally go from slums to like basically skyscraper. One shot, boom, done. Now, it's not very rare. Like you may think that's a rare thing, but like if you look out, zoom out, basically, there's surprisingly a lot of these sort of people, like one shot jump, where it's like, bro, your whole family had nothing and you just went, lol. You just like, bro, I got this. So that does happen. However, that's not common. Like it does happen, 3 to 5%. But what happens most of the time is what we call brick by brick climbing, meaning generation by generation. Meaning my grandfather's grandfather worked, then his father worked, then my grandfather worked, then my father worked, then I am working. This is how we build it. We call brick by brick. This is how majority of humanity climbs up from poverty to middle class. This is how it happens to every country, be it America, be it Russia, be it Soviet Union, be it China, be it whatever have you, or European Union. It's always the same thing, brick by brick. We do not have like the hustler jump, like, there is always one man who breaks the chains of poverty. It generally does not work that way. You climb little by little, brick by brick, day by day, century after century. In 2 to 3 centuries, most families can sort themselves out if they have good family structure. Generally, that's the and I'm giving you a lot of leeway because each century contains 3 generations. So generally, you can easily achieve a lot of things, a lot of progress. And everyone in middle class did this. Be mindful. Again, they may have a single shot jump or they may have multi-generation jump, but everybody did it. So what does this mean? Like how the heck this magic happened? Well, this happens because our means of production improved. What did in means of production improve? Because as money is nothing. Money is just a value transfer protocol. You just allow money to hold value temporarily and then you transfer it. Meaning if you are in a desert and you are thirsty, if somebody gave you money versus somebody gave you water, you're going to take water. Obviously, you're going to take water. But that's the whole aspect of it. People have many times like failed to understand this. Money has no value. It's what you can do with that money that has value. For example, if your nation, you have a lot of money, but your nation has, let's say, import restrictions. You can't actually get anything out of it. Like, yeah, I can have a car that is from 1970. Is it? Like, you can't buy a Ferrari. Even if you can afford it, you can't buy it. That's one thing. Money has no value unless you can do something with it. So what we did in terms of production? We reduced the effort, meaning we reduced everything. How much oomph it takes, basically how much horsepower you need on a machine, how much horsepower you need in terms of robotic arms, we reduced that. Then we reduced the resources, meaning instead of mining, let's say 50 tons and barely getting 10 tons of metal out of it, we are mining 50 tons and we're getting 20 tons of metal out of it. Like our refinement process became better. So resource consumption went down, and time also, basically things that used to take whole day now barely takes few minutes. So we reduced everything, basically the amount of oomph needed, the amount of material needed, the amount of time needed. All 3 vectors went down. Benefit of that, more GDP. Benefit of more GDP, more options. What does more option leads to? More jobs. This is one critical aspect is government cannot pay themselves. Like government only works on taxes. This is one many times, unless government is like investing in something, and most of the time they're gonna mess it up because of the bureaucracy. It's like government has only one income source, that is taxes. Taxes does not come from government employees. It only comes from basically business owners. Because yes, deal, nobody is doing job. Like anybody who says they are doing a job is they are working inside a business empire. They have a job, but they're at the end of the day, it's working towards a business empire. So that business empire is the one that pays the taxes and runs the country. So this is what happens. Once we reduced everything, we can do lot more with lot less, and fundamentally improved our state of living, improve our earnings. That more earning allowed more industries to pop up. Those industries, more profit, more benefits, everybody win. Now this is one core aspect. We went from zero-sum game, basically I win, you lose, or you win, I lose, to basically non-zero-sum game. What does that mean? Non-zero-sum. Instead of winner versus loser, we had win-win. Basically, I started a company. Okay, cool, awesome. Now I'm providing a product, let's say a software tool set. Okay, I have that software tool set, done, go, good. And then I'm like, okay, the company is making some profit, I'm gonna hire an individual. That individual improves my yield, and my yield goes up to such a point that I'm getting even more profit. Now I hire more people. Here's the deal, everything is coming out of thin air. It's like I've created a product stack that I'm successfully selling, and I'm hiring more and more people. Now more and more people are capable of doing things, and they are directly consuming, they are spending their money on some other things. Now those things are growing. You see, this is what we call win-win scenario, meaning once you have a basically country that has a lot of trade, that has a lot of production, more jobs will come in, and because of that primary job, even more secondary jobs will come in. Because of the secondary, more tertiary jobs will come in. So brick by brick, we can create a very healthy country. Any country that progressed, that's how they progressed. So we are creating, we are doing a very good job. However, there is a slight problem. It does create hyper contrast as a result. What does hyper contrast mean? Meaning back in 2 centuries, if you go back to, or 4 centuries, if you talked about someone like very rich versus something very poor, there was, the only difference was land. Like you did not have too much difference. Yeah, you can have, like, you have one woman, they have 100 women. That's not that big of a deal. They still does not have running water. They still does not have good flushing toilet. You still don't have it. So both of the things, there was not that much contrast. Nowadays, it's like you may have a car, but that person has Ferrari. You may have a watch, that person has a Rolex or Patek Philippe. So you get the point. Like the contrast makes it very brutal for our psychology. And like you may be like, I'm going on a plane. And that dude is like, bruh, got my private jet, bruh. Don't worry about it. I'm not even joking. There are many Indian people who has it now. So it does improve contrast, like makes it hyper contrasting, meaning gap between middle class and hyper top class, it's extreme. Like back in the days, there was no point of it. Yeah, you could have boatload of money, but you could not do much with it. Now you can do so much with it, like so much more. Like you can have yachts that are the size of battleships and cost more than a national battleship. Not even joking. So that's the consequence of this sort of progress that we did. Now, why it's a consequence, I'll explain that. Now, money. Everybody, whenever you say poverty, is like, okay, money, we have to redistribute money. It has nothing to do with money. Money cannot solve it. It's like, that's the odd thing that you may think. It's like, can't, like I give money, it solves the problem. Hell no, people have tried it. Like we have actual data, real world data from governments to charities. And I do not mean one government, one charity. I mean hundreds of them and more. Like if you align them line by line, maybe century of experience. It's like, it does nothing. Zero, nothing, nope. It's just a big ass nope. All have tried, all have failed, all the time. And all the time is very important, because back in the day, King's era, they were also trying it, this sort of thing, in some healthy environment. Because again, it's beneficial if you have like, a healthy ecosystem. Even they failed. So to give you a context, India spends around 60,000 crore on 150 crore people. That's a lot of money. I mean, like, and this is annual, by the way. So that's just focus on the number 60,000, and we have 150. So that's like 400 rupees. That's like around $4, let's say $5 or $6. Again, the value changes. So just divide by 100. So let's say $4 per annum. Now, like, that's not a lot. Here's the deal. But if we focus it state by state, that's so much that we can eradicate poverty state by state. And in 5 to 10 years, we're like, bro, poverty gone. But we never, like, and this is lower year. Last year it was 90,000. So we reduced it. outcome is still the same. What about USA? USA spends 847 billion last year versus 33 crore population. Basically, it barely has few million in terms of population. It spends billions in terms of basically poverty eradication. Of course, it has different project names, different all that jazz, but they're spending boatload of money, almost $1 trillion, and they still cannot solve it. So money cannot work. Let that sink in. Money cannot work if you do not have family structure, you do not have discipline, and you do not have morals. Now, how the heck we know? Now, I have linked a very good discussion between Jordan Peterson and an individual who specifically studied this part. Basically, there are some towns, so to say, in America that are like gone, just gone. Like nobody goes there. It's like completely destroyed area. So they went there. It's like, and the first thing you will think, oh, if government just gave them the money, it will problem solve. Here's the deal, government was giving them money, almost $30,000 per year. That's a medium income, like almost how much an average medium family will spend. Minimum is that much money. It's like it's a significant amount of money. But then why the heck everybody was poor? Again, they had zero family structure. Zero. Meaning, father, what is that? They did not know. Like once the family structures falls apart, the end. They did not have discipline. Meaning, even if they got the money, they could not restrict themselves. They did not have enough discipline where it's like, bro, I will use this wisely. They could have done so much with that much money, brick by brick, and you are getting that money. Be mindful, you are getting that money for free. You're not doing anything for that money. You're just citizen of a nation that is just like, we are trying to help you. So they could have done a lot with that, but failed. Like, and it has been going on for years, and they have spent millions on it. Outcome is still there. And morals. So now, where morals matter? Morals is the reason. Basically, they showed example wherever the check date happened. Basically, electronic money transfer happened. Lot of the friends will come there. It's like, oh, you got the benefit and all that. They will come to you and they'll take you to the bar and get you drunk, and you will be the one paying for everything. And here's the deal: a moral friend will not allow you to do that. If any of them had morality, they will be like, bro, little bit once, not drinking for 3 days continuous. I'm not even joking that they did. And again, it scares me that alcohol can have that sort of effect. But yes, you do not have morality, you do not have discipline, you do not have family structure. Money cannot do anything. Flat out. Same goes for Russia also, by the way. Same goes for India also. Basically, India has slum area. Now, you may say like, don't we have family? Used to. Like, and here's the deal, family does not mean family itself. Family also means the quality of family. Meaning, do you have familial bonds? Is it like, oh, I have a father, I have a mother? It's like, no. Do you have that bond, that bonding there? If you do not have that, it's like you put brick, you put cement, but they are not bonding. You just took it, the walls fall apart. So family structure matters a lot. Once you have lack of family, and God help you if alcohol or drug touched you. For example, this is an Indian slum, and these kids are smoking cigarette. Now, here's the deal. Cigarette is expensive in India. One of my friend once asked me to buy a pack of cigarette, and I almost had a heart attack how expensive those things were. And this is like few years ago. I was in Bangalore back then. So this was scary. It's like, how the heck these people who do not have money for clothes have money for cigarettes? How the heck they have money for illegal alcohol? Basically, alcohol is also very expensive in India, and they have access to what we call desi daru, basically illegal, basically homemade moonshine, so to say. And again, many people die because, again, those do not have quality control. So how the heck they have money for that? It's the same thing. Once you do not have the family structure, and once, God help you, if you touch drugs, nothing can help you. Like, for example, Russia is a very good example of that. Like back in the days, before USSR, there were czars, and these people were really not as wise, and they really could not take care of the country as well they should have. But consequence was, like, they did had a lot of potatoes. They're like, what can we do with this potato? They can make vodka out of it. They made vodka. They made such a cheap vodka that whatever bad things happened, they just reduced the price of vodka, and people got addicted. And I mean, whole nation got addicted. The stereotype that Russian drinks vodka like water, I'm horrified. And the fact that Russian flat out, like, again, there are Russian people making the documentaries and talking about this, like, it's true. It's not even a joke. It's freaking true that they drink vodka like there is no tomorrow. Like, to give you a context, like if you watch the TV show Chernobyl, like they also put effort in emphasis on that part, that if you look at the bottles, vodka bottles, it does not have a cap. The idea was it was once used, like you drink the whole bottle every time. And yes, people were that drunk. It's like they're still not recovered. And this was when Soviet Union came, and again, they also failed the people. They also reduced the price of vodka. The reason for that is, like, if people are drunk, they will not ask us, it's like, why the hell you are sending our young to die in basically Afghanistan? Because here's the deal, when Vietnam did that sort of slaughtering, Americans were like, bro, nah, bro, just bring them back. Just bring them back. So why the heck Soviet Union people could not do it, Russian people could not do it? The idea was the same, drunk. And again, people living there, they will tell you, it's like, it's so bad that it's normal to them. It's like, it reached such a level of normalcy that's like, if people reject a vodka, it's like, whoa. So once this sort of things happen, nothing can save you. You can throw money, like, I mean, dollars, diamonds, whatever have you, it will not do anything. If you do not have family, you do not have, basically, if you are touched by alcohol, or God help you, if you're touched by drugs, nothing can save you. And data of welfare checks are also horrifying, meaning you may be like, just give them the money. People have tried it. Again, not only in America, also in Britain, where they were like, okay, these people are there, like, a lot of bad things happened, they lost their job, okay, just so they do not get homeless, they started to give them money. That money was the worst thing that could have happened to them. Once they got the money, they got stuck in a loop, because the money will stop coming in the moment they get a job. Now, because you are getting that money for free, that money is yours to spend. But if you're doing a job, you have to get ready, you have to go to places, you have to take care of yourself, hygiene, groom yourself, and all those steps, little steps, they do cost money. So inherently, you will be more poorer compared to that welfare check. But if you did that job, that again, paying bare minimum, but it will open some doors, and many people did push through that door. That's why I always specify, it is a multi-generation thing. Some people do push through brick by brick, little by little, but it does happen. But that route has been closed simply because of the welfare check. And data is in, like, Britain literally destroyed generations of people simply because of that. And like, they are stuck now. It's like, they know, like, we have to cut this, but they know that these people have lost the skill set, the talent, the hunger, the everything they needed to become successful in life. That crutch became the, basically, prison, so to say. So data is in, flat out. Welfare check does not make any places richer, and every country can fall apart. It does not mean, oh, we are this, we are strong, we are this, nothing. It does not matter whether you are Russia, does not matter you are USA, does not matter you are India, it does not matter you are China. Like, nothing can save you from that. If your family falls apart, or what we call family disintegration, nothing matters, even in European Union. So it's one of those things. And the primary reason for that is government cannot teach you discipline or morals. Like, this is so horrifying that I could not even come up with an imaginary solution. What can you do? It's like, the best I can think of is, like, if gather up all the basically retired military people and ask them to basically take care of the kids and force them to discipline themselves. At least something would come well out of that. And be mindful, military people, again, even though they are retired, they are strong people. They are like robust people, let's just put it that way. So this can still work. And if you give them a purpose, that is like, yeah, I'm fixing a bug of my nation, they're like, bro, I got this. They're willing to die for the nation. Like, fixing something and giving an actual purpose, this may work out, but I cannot guarantee it, simply because all it can do is take care of the discipline part. I do not know about the morality, and family structure is the most important part. And that's the another reason you would have easily noticed it. Like, this community, how the heck this community, like, brick by brick, poverty by poverty, they became so successful, and other family structure would be broken. I guarantee it. And it does not care about anything. It does not care about country, it does not care about skin color, it does not care about your religion. Family. Is the family intact? Good. Not intact? Bye-bye. So that's why, do not ever fall in that paradox. Like, if you just give them the money. Nope. Nope, sir. People have tried, and thousands of people over almost hundreds of years, and outcome is still nothing. And then we come to the most dangerous aspect. Communism. Now, you have to understand, capitalism has a lot of flaw. Let that sink in. And there is no individual who's ever going to tell you, who is worth their salt, is like, oh, capitalism is flawless. No, it has many problems. Let's not even go there. However, it does work. And its communism is like democracy, where it's like, democracy is the worst form of governments, but it's the best one we got. Every other form is so worst, it's like, bro, democracy, bro, we good. Capitalism is like that. And this is another aspect. That's why I always, whenever I'm talking about technology, I always talk about jump from basically 2G to 3G to 4G to 5G. Never try to jump from 2G to 5G. There's generally a catch, and whenever those catch happens, bad things happen. Here is the same thing. So what's the logic? What's the essence of capitalism? Essence of capitalism is basically you exploit competent and capable people, meaning people who are GG in terms of intellect, in terms of their capability of doing things. They are very smart, you exploit them. And what is the benefit of that as well? Like, what's the benefit of the sweat of their brow? The benefit is quality of life improvement, meaning you could have a communist country and you could have a capitalist country. The chances the capitalist country will create a better car is exponentially higher than a communist country. and I'm pretty sure, try to name a communist country's car. Good luck. A good car, not just like, okay, I built it or something. No, no, good car, like the cars that extract love out of you. So it's one of those things. Whereas like competent people, you give them the hard work, they do the hard work, you extract them. The extract output is something that help us improve our quality of life. Like you can get your mobile phones and all that jazz, whatever have you, you get improvement. This improves your quality of life. Now, benefit of that, you reward the worker with wealth. Now, wealth hopefully is generally done in proportion to the work. Now, proportion to the work is also very complicated. It's not just like, oh, the worker who's coding. No, no, no. Coders, there are hundreds of coders. You can replace it. Who is unreplaceable? Basically, who is like, CEOs are not replaceable. If you replace the CEO, companies fall apart. Ask Apple what happens when they replaced basically Steve Jobs, and yes, they did that. Company like it was in rocky grounds, and then they were like, no, CEO, come back, CEO, come back. So it's one of those things. So of course, because of that reason, he makes an iPhone, he makes boatload of money. Your life does get better, but he becomes exponentially richer. Now this is where we get into the problem. Your life does get better, but they get hyper wealthy. We like the ideas like, oh, Elon Musk is giving Starlink, we are getting internet access. Everybody loves that. But like, Elon Musk is wealthy. Oh no, we cannot have that. Now, why does that happen? Like, it happens to everyone. You, me, every Tom, Dick and Harry. Why the heck that happens? It happens because what we call contrast hurt. Like, back in the days, there was no way of differentiating between hyper rich people and poor people. Like, yeah, you could be wearing gold, but it's like, who cares? Like, who cares? Like, yeah, harem was one of the easiest way, but again, even that was not that interesting. So, nowadays, there is so much way, so much vectors of showing off that's like, whoa, and it hurts. Now, what hurts us? Like basically contrast. Basically, for example, if I have a car, like I will not even think about the fact that I am so privileged that I have a goddamn car. I am so privileged that I am so lucky. I am so blessed that I literally have the ability to pay for petrol for my car. I put petrol in my car and my car drives. And the moment I look at someone who has better car than me, the moment I look at someone who has more cars than me, I'll be like, ah, damn, I have nothing. It's like, I don't even click. It's like, bro, you were raised in a family that was so poor that bicycle was a luxury. Now I have a goddamn car and I still give a damn about it. It's like, oh, but he has more. This is a human psychological thing. We do not like contrast. It's like we are much better off if everybody is poor compared to like everybody is better off, but somebody is much better off. That hurts us, like fundamentally hurts us. We hate inequality more than poverty. Let that sink in. Like somebody is like, everybody becomes poor, you'll be happy there. Heck, that's why like everybody is like, back in the days, everybody is happy. That was the reason. There was no contrast. Now everybody is miserable, even though our life is much exponentially better. That's the reason. Contrast hurts. And Instagram, yeah, God help you. Then if you got addicted to Instagram, God help you. So it's one of those things. And this time, like this pain, communism gives you an easy answer for that pain. It's like, you are in pain, your brain is already not working. And again, I do not blame humans for this. I do not blame myself or you for this. This is a human nature. We need a modern Buddha for us to like, try to tackle it. And I do not expect this to be easy. So it is what it is. It's just one of those things. It's like, yeah, blood is red, water is wet, get over it. So communism gives you an easy answer. Now, that's the most scary part of it. And this is one thing that I have tried to study religions, multiple religions, and I found that more or less they all have the same essence, quote unquote. And all of the religion on the planet, major religions that I have studied, is always have the be wary of easy paths. Be wary of easy path. If somebody's like, do this easy path, be very mindful. They may say different names. They may say shaitan, they may say devil, but be very mindful. If somebody gives you an easy answer, apply some disc brake. So that's the whole point. And our past teaches us, like we have history, actual history, that whenever this sort of happens, communism happened. Like the idea of communism is like very little state. USSR was the most powerful state. Like they can just poof the people out of existence, and people inside fought to break it apart. Let that sink in. And it was, on paper, communism is like for the people. No, it's for bureaucrats. It's basically is the same thing with capitalism, but instead of improving people's life, it improves exploitative people's life. That's the outcome. On paper, it does not matter. That's why I said capitalism is really bad tool, but at least it works. This does not work. We have history of it. Be it basically North Korea, be it China, be it USSR, we have this. And be it modern variants of that, or like this random dude, God damn it, this dude was like so amazing. It was like, whoa. Like, sometimes somebody becomes so evil, you're like, damn. You're like, people, children were dying out of starvation. People were dying out of starvation, like hundreds, like as in like death certificates started to have that, and it became traceable. Where it's like, bro, you have too many people die, and he's like, hereby I fixed this issue, and all starvation disappeared. Now here's the deal. How the heck that happened? Nothing. He just put pew pew to a doctor's head, and he'd be like, bruh, you're not gonna write that starvation, cause of death starvation. No. So, and this happened recently. It's not even 10 years old. So all the bodies that we have, real world, real life, real planet, it's bonkers. So these legends of communism is not helping us. Like we have to learn from history. And this is the easiest way to figure out which country is good or not. How many of you are actually trying to get a passport of these countries and you want to go there and visit? That's the easiest way. Like, this is how Chinese people are now revolting. It's like, oh, you say America is so bad, then why the heck every CCP member has a property in America? Not even just going, like they have property. Why the heck all their, it's like, if communism is so good, why don't you send your family, children members, and to, North Korea? Like you say, we support North Korea, send your children there. How about that? Now, people, that's the easiest way to figure it out. So be mindful. On paper, everything works. In real life, things are much more complicated. So if we do not learn from North Korea, USSR, China to Venezuela, we're gonna bound to repeat it. And that scares me. And because the core essence is we cannot handle contrast. We can handle poverty, ironically, but we cannot handle contrast. I cannot handle the fact that I'm driving a car versus somebody is driving a much better car. I do hate my car does not have a second AC on the back row, and India is hot. So I do hate that part. But other than that, I'm kind of grateful because, bicycle. So this is communism, and this is what it exploits, that people hate that contrast. So they're like, I'm going to take his. It's like, dude, if you do that, you're going to starve to death. But it's like, no, but he's also going to starve to death. It's like, what's the benefit of that then? It's like, you will literally be back into the square one, and it will be much more miserable for everyone involved. This dude literally poofed 200,000 people of his own nation. Not even some other nations, just his own nation. 200,000 people, poof. And he's like, NATO. It's like, he's the one reason why NATO got expansion. He's the reason why one more country joined NATO. It's one of the very wise saying is that one often meets his destiny in the path that it takes to avoid it. It's like, if he did not wanted NATO to expand, he was like, bro, I'm not going to do anything. Let NATO make the first move. NATO is like, bro, I'm lazy. So it's like, instead of that, war. It's like, he's not dying, so he does not care. 200,000, let that sink in. 200,000. That many able-bodied male disappear from India, India will be hurt. If that many male disappeared from Russia, we have not seen the consequence of that yet. It will happen, but it would be cruel. So this is one of those things that there are some problems that have easy answers. And easy answers is like, how can we renewably run the world? Is that has easy answer? Yes. The problem is that it's going to take time. Like, we do not have that sort of like, oh, I flip my finger and bam. It's not going to happen like that. It's going to take time, brick by brick, day by day. We have to employ multiple technology. We have to do it wisely, brick by brick, day by day. Basically, exactly how we crawled from middle class to upper class. So those things have solutions. Like, you can see it. Like, okay, this is the path. This is what I'm going to. This is a complex puppy. This image looks horrifying. It's like, oh, so much slum, so much money, so much slum, so much money. But it does not have an easy answer. It's not a simple issue. Because here's the we all were poor at one point, and you have to remember that. You have to keep telling yourself this radicalization that we have right now. It's like, hate the rich. It's like, dude, every rich started at some point, and you can do it too. And we have success history. We have history of humanity that we can do it, and we are doing it. Yeah, so of course, not everybody can do it in like one generation, but we are doing it. That's the reality. We are doing it. So that's the only difference. Like, some climb in one shot, some climb in multiple generations. It can be done. And all of those things goes to the core essence. And that's why I focused on the globe. That's why I focused on Russia, focused on USA, focused on China, focused on India, focused on all these things. All of them have same thing common. Family structures. Their judiciary body fired a missile at the family structure. The moment family structures falls apart, whatever your intentions may be good, but then again, there is a saying in almost all religion that is like, road to hell is paved by good intentions. It's like they fired missiles on the family structure, and once that breaks, nothing. Like, this is one thing where no psychiatrist, no sociologist, no economist will ever deny that. It's like, once the family falls apart, good luck. You cannot solve it. Like, flat out, if they do not have family structure, the probability that they have discipline is zero. The probability that they have morality is very low. Not absolute zero, but like, good luck with that. So family structure, if it's not there, the end. And if anybody ever offers you easy solution, it never works. Just like, oh, easy solution, apply this and it will solve my problem. No, just that should up. It should be like you are driving a car. The moment somebody says easy solution, pull handbrake. Don't even discuss about it. Just like pull handbrake right there. Apply disc brakes instantaneously. So this is a tough problem because we have to solve the family problem. That's why this is the only imagination I had. Is like take all the retired basically army personnel and then just ask them to train the children. At least give them some semblance of discipline, some semblance of morality, some semblance of it may help. I do not know. What's your suggestion about it? But it's a very hard problem to solve. So this was my presentation on basically paradox of poverty. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.